Stefan, thank you so much for joining us on our Life in Digital Can Captures podcast. It's so lovely to be in the shade that we found here on the RTL beach.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for your time. How's Cannes going for you so far?
Very good.
Yeah,
I think Cannes is just a crazy place to be.
Right.
And now we are nearly at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And of course, you miss it already, but also you're glad it's over, right? So it's quite intense, the heat, but it's I'm meeting a lot of people, meeting partners, clients. It's just a fantastic week.
Well, that's great to hear. Well, would you mind maybe introducing yourself first to our listeners and telling us a bit about Adform, of course?
Of course. Hi, Stefan.
Nice.
Stefan from Adform. I'm SVP Global Sales and Partnerships, running a lot of global teams, but also looking a bit after the DACH region. Adform is, I would say, the European DSP. That is a global operating DSP with net server as well. So we're a global platform, and we're working with our clients across the globe, really brands, agencies,
Yeah, amazing.
I think one thing we stand for is probably our differentiators is our identity proposition with ID Fusion, where we're making the non-addressable market addressable. I think that is something probably would you stand for, which I would say a little bit of our USP.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sure. And I know you guys very much a global operation, of course, in the States as well.
Yes.
Do you travel much yourself with work? Of course, I'm sure lots.
Yes, I do.
Oh, amazing. Well, of course, traveling to Cannes is probably one of the nicer ones. And I know you've got a few of you guys here at Cannes at the moment. Are you able to leave this beach much and go explore? Or are you based hubbed here?
Absolutely. So we're hubbed here at the RTL beach. We're very happy to partner with also a European company. So we are bringing Europe a little bit together here at the RTL beach. But on the other hand, of course, we have a lot of partners here walking around, meeting them, clients, and so on and so forth. So,
fantastic. Yeah. Well, tell me, what's being talked about most? Are there any topics that seem to keep coming up in conversation?
I think there are maybe two topics. And no surprise, AI is one of them. I think it's quite interesting because everybody talking about AI, and also when you talk to other tech partners of us, it's a question how much you invest in AI, when will agents take over, how that all operates together. I think that is quite an interesting question. Do we see a platform that have several agents and agentic layer above that really changes the way how we buy media nowadays and how it will be in 12, 18 months? I think that's something really interesting and how much every company invests into that. I think the other topic is quite interesting. We see a little bit of an interesting shift between buy and sell side, right? SSP is saying, okay, they should be a bit more in control. They should, create more and have decision-making themselves, so actually sell-side decision-making. On the other side, you have DSPs moving more into sell-side business. So there's a little bit of dynamics that's happening here. And it will be interesting to see how that plays out. I think there is, of course, a really important role for SSPs to play. They have a lot of data. They can create the media together with data. But on the other hand, your DSPs are very much needed as well because they actually represent the client. They're showing the results and they can optimize the client results. And I think bring this together, I think it should be very cooperative. But however, there's a bit of friction happening.
Difficult.
It's a bit of friction happening in our industry.
Well, that's it. What are Adform trying to do with that then, actually, to actually bring that easier together?
So we are predominantly a buy-side platform and we are working with all of SPs that are connected to us. We don't see the friction here. We don't see the friction. I think we are working very well with our partners. And I think it's about creating value for the clients at the end, right? And I think that is what dictates actually if you're successful as a company or not. If you deliver great client outcomes, the client will invest more into you. And I think that's all about, right?
Yeah, exactly that. It's definitely about value and actually making that dollar go further, isn't it? Right?
Absolutely.
Well, is there maybe one thing that you'd like to share with us about Adform, or maybe that's something that's happening in your industry and how Adform are addressing that?
Yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier. I think it's quite interesting, we all thought the third party will completely go away. Obviously not yet.
It's not.
Well, but it is partly away, right? If you're looking at the browser share, there's, 50% Chrome, 50% Safari, Firefox, roughly across all markets. So it means 50% of the inventory is actually not really addressable anymore, right? And I think that is where we see an opportunity, because what we have created is with ID Fusion is an own identity solution where we're bringing together all the different IDs and merging them together to make the non-addressable market addressable again, right? I think that's something that we have been very passionate about for many, many years, actually. And I think that is clearly something that clients need to think about, because at the end it's about the reach, as a brand. You want to reach the consumers and you want to have a frequency with them, right? And probably you don't want to, have the right frequency, and you don't want to annoy them, but you still want to be relevant to them. And I think this reach and frequency in the non-addressable world, I think that is something that actually in Adform we are very passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that sounds great. And maybe as a final thought, it'd be good to look forwards for this, right? I know 12 months ago, like Gen AI wasn't really being talked about. Now it's one of the most sort of talked about conversations, right? Well, what about in 12 months time from now? Where do you see the industry going? Or is there anything in particular we will be talking about then?
Now, there are a few themes, right?
Yeah.
AI, of course, one of them. I think we will have, how traders will operate with platforms in the future will be different.
Right. Okay.
AI will take over a bit more, but I think it's a really good balance between, of course, letting AI do a job on the platform in the UI, but on the other hand, also giving the user still control, that they can have, influence on what is done.
Right.
Because I think that's very important. The second thing is, I think it will be very interesting to see how the dynamics with especially the big American tech giants, how that will continue, right?
Okay.
Google will be split up. Probably will take a few ages to go, right?
Yes.
We'll see that, but I think there's some dynamic, right? And there's some dynamic. We are living in a very uncertain world right now.
Right, yeah.
And, things happen very rapidly. Changes happen very rapidly. And I think, you as a company to be prepared for these. And I think that is, I think it's really difficult to predict.
Right, yeah.
But I think these are a few themes.
Well, that's it. And TikTok in that, of course, right? Are they leaving the US market? Who knows what's happening, right? There's going to be a lot of change.
Yes, absolutely.
Amazing. Well, I'm excited for it, and I'm excited to see you again in 12 months, and we'll be talking about all that, I'm sure, okay?
Absolutely.
So thank you so much for your time, Stefan.
Thank you as well.
Enjoy the rest of Cannes.
Thank you very much.